You knew what the old saying goes. The truth will set you free, or the truth will come out for these two, because Alfred knows the truth, but Bruce Wayne, even though he can't, he says sometimes truth is not good enough. However, the truth is going to set him free from what's going to happen next. But why? I don't know why. But until then, it's time we're going to go punch crime in the face. This is Arkham to Win Days. Hi there, viewers. I am Leo Wolverine, your game commentator and founding member of Leo's Let's Plays Alliance. As I'm going to continue my story topic in progress of The Dark Knight Rises movie story, part or episode number 3. Okay, where did I pick up from where I left off? Oh yes, with Alfred and Bruce about talking about the truth thing and about the flash drive. Okay, so he said something about the speed and the power that Bane is a mercenary and he is a member of the League of Shadows, is what Alfred is saying to Bruce. But he also had something else, and how come he said something about he has not moved on with his life and all that, of course. And then what happens if I burn? And Alfred says, what happens if I burn that letter? And that Rachel Dawes has chosen Harvey over you. And okay, now Bruce is starting to listen. It's like, what? It's like she chose Harvey over you, Master Wayne. And I'm sorry, but sometimes we cannot outrun the truth. Just to have to accept it sometimes. And I'll never. And sometimes I'll never understand what it takes. And yeah, Bruce says, how dare you for using Rachel against me. And yeah, Alfred, I have to spare Bruce's pain because of that. Because he spared his pain from his loved ones. Especially he wants to get married to Rachel Dawes, having to grow up a really huge big Wayne family. Instead, she was blown to bits because even though that Bruce Wayne that Rachel Dawes died in a fiery explosion, he did not know that Rachel chose Harvey Dent over Bruce. And that kind of made Bruce angry, more jealousy. I want to say angrier, but I'd rather choose the word jealousy over anger issues. And so for that, Alfred said, I'll never forget the echoes hearing in this house. Which is why I'm leaving you. To realize that I can't do this anymore. I mean, it's like, yeah, he's telling the truth about that he cannot do this. That he cannot do this, even though that he cannot outsmart the truth. He knows that the truth is going to set him free and he'll have to accept it. But sometimes, even though he's going to not like from what he hears, it's just painful to see what goes on. It's just very much indeed. So for that, Alfred just said his last words, and Bruce Wayne says, "Goodbye, Alfred." So yeah, And that's the last time you will see Alfred in the middle of the movie of The Dark Knight Rises, and you will not be able to see him to the end of the movie, and that's about it. The very end of the movie. And now, and all that's left is just Bruce Wayne in the mansion. Of course, he's got to go, then he has to, of course, he's going to have to go to Wayne Enterprises, even though he says something about what is going on with his fortune, his entire allowance, that he is now broke, and they couldn't quite understand of what's going to happen next. So the only way he had to be protected from bankruptcy is to have to give the company to control in someone else's shoes. Oh my. Stupid thugs! I'm hearing a comment! Sorry, they like to mess things up. So, there's one thing in common, even though he has to go to Wayne Enterprises, even though the company has his name up on the family heirlooms. Of course, John Daggett was there during the meeting because he kind of ran this on the ground, even though that Lucius Fox hates to say this, but he absolutely agrees of what John Daggett is saying. Yeah, John Daggett, the guy who wants the guy who has that kind of clean slate program. So yeah, it's just, even though the meeting went okay, he has to get out of the meeting room of whatsoever. Even though he has to give the control of the company to someone he can trust, and that is none other than the woman who is that I'm not gonna say, but I think I know who it is. It's what's her name? I know it's in the tip of my tongue and my head. I know. Jeez. Okay, let's say Miranda, right? Miranda. Yes, Miranda. So yeah, her name Miranda. She kind of is giving out donation to charities of trust funds and so on and so on and so forth. So yeah, to Miranda. I almost forgot the name, but I didn't forget. So yes, and now, of course, they had a little moonlight stroll. Well, not a moonlight stroll. I'm gonna say this to you, more like a friendly moment together. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna say, because it's not my place to say that in the channel, even though they had the moments, which is not awkward. It is just, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, the moment, and then that's it. And now we move fast forward, and then he decides that he's going to hand Wayne Enterprises to Miranda and not to John Daggett. Of course, you'll see that there's a special meeting of... okay, and now he chose... Okay, of course, Lucius Fox had went on a talk with Miranda, and now, guess what? And Lucius Fox takes her to this strange little place. I don't know. It's just a place if you want to know. So, Now it is an underground bunker. And Miranda says, this is the place, isn't it? Yeah. Lucius Fox knows this is the right place. And now Bruce Wayne said he wanted to flood it the whole place, but he chooses not to because to save of Gotham's vital source of energy, that's kind of like a nuclear energy. Yeah. It is just absolutely amazing. So now what you see is something different. So Miranda says that doesn't count because I know, he says, but I'm choosing to trust you, is what says Bruce Wayne. So she now takes a hold of the company of Wayne Enterprises. Oh, instead of John Daggett, because John Daggett wants to absorb the company of Wayne Enterprises for his company so he could take over and do something about it, whether it's blackmail, for instance. But Bruce Wayne is too smart for what's going to happen next. So he chose Miranda to give Wayne Enterprises to her. And his company is now safe and sound in the hands of Miranda. The one who he went to sleep with. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go there because I'm not going hardcore. So, thank you very much. Goodbye. So, now, as you can imagine, is what goes on with next and his associate, and said something about that Batman arrested the thugs and all that, and he says, and I quote, "They will die before talking." So yeah, and now that Bane comes over with having this little wants to go in a talk and a chit chat, but John Daggett was not in a good mood at all. He says, "What in the world is that? Your plan, my friend, it didn't work. How am I supposed to do? How is supposed to do this? And my company is to absorb Wayne's." And Bane says, "Leave us." And he says, "No, stay here. I am." And he holds out his hand and says, "Do you feel in charge?" Like, what do you mean? I paid you a small fortune. And Bane says, and you think this power controls you over me?" He says, "What are you?" He says, "Unnecessary evil and Gotham's reckoning. I'm here to wake up Gotham with a spot of tea. I'm Loopy Boy. Loopy. But no, he doesn't say Loopy. He's just said, "I am Gotham's reckoning," and then unnecessary evil, and then hear John Daggett screaming with his neck being broken, and it's just hit. Yeah, it was dark. That's how you snap to it from waking up, which is also dark. I'm sorry that was wrong. Wow. And so now, even though his allowance is broke, and now, although he keeps the mansion, however, he has to make sure that the money or the allowance or Wayne Enterprises or all of the above does not fall into John Daggett's hands or any one of the associates, now that John Daggett is now the dead. Yeah, he is now the dead, and he's not waking up anytime soon, so he went Betty bye for the rest of his life. As in, he's not in a better place. So, anyways, and, Oh boy. And now you think this is gonna be something new. Of course, there's some kind of, when you hear the GCPD officer, something about a training exercise. And no, it is not. And so for that, oh boy. And so for what's going on, so, something's coming up. So for that matter, and Bane has brought in a nuclear physicist, Leonard Pavel. Yeah, Leonard Pavel, who's from Ukraine, knows how to arm and disarm nuclear bombs or nuclear fusion reactors or something, or somewhat, and so on and so forth. Yeah, he's fine. He's still alive, if you want to know. Not saying he isn't. And something tells me things are about to get really bad. So John Blake is kind of have a funny feeling of what's going on. So he decided to go to visit Commissioner James Gordon. But something's fishy going on. I mean, the Bane's mercenary thugs and all the members of the League of Shadows were coming in to close in on Wayne Enterprises. And it's not gonna be looking good, if you want to know. Of course, now things are gonna get interesting. However, before that happens, Catwoman wanted to escape from the clutches of Bane. So what does she do? She has to ask Batman, for example, to have it, because Bruce Wayne told Selina Kyle that he has a powerful friend, and his name is Batman. So yeah, Batman is the one who is the guy who is like, think of it as like this movie feels like an Iron Man knockoff feel. Okay, so it was like the first Iron Man movie, but it's the Dark Knight Rises movie of DC with a Marvel feel, which is Iron Man. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's there. And so for that, she tells him to. She tells him to. He knows that the flash drive does exist with a clean slate. And I remember something about when John Daggett had a talk with Catwoman, because he said something about saying you're dumb, and then in his assertion she says nice shoes, and he says, I bet they look good on you, and it said, yeah, she said, yeah, they look good on me, and then she kind of kicks at one of his associates wicked hard with the high heels, and it was, whoa, she's really good. Yeah, the actress playing is Anne Hathaway. She plays really well as Selina Kyle, a.k.a. Catwoman. Pretty cool. So, yeah, and not to mention had to escape the clutches of Bane because don't want to get caught. And she says, drop the guns, and she says, I'm not bluffing. And Batman says, they know. They just don't care. And yeah, this kind of happened before. Said something about the flash drive thing. And then, and then finally, okay, Batman sees the guns that Catwoman carries, and he says, stop! No guns, no killing. And she says, where's the fun in that? I don't know. Perhaps it's just your honorary opinion. And now, and still, you know, how do I... Okay, now that things are going to get testy. How will you comprehend this? Well, you go into the Bat. When I mean the Bat, it's a flying hovercraft vehicle. And she said something about a nice way to get in a car, and says that, and Batman says, "This isn't a car." What is it then? It's the Bat. Flies away, and then Selina Kyle tells him about something, that a program that does not exist, and she wants it so badly to have a clean slate, wipe away of clean identities, name, state, date, and birth, and even country-wise. And so, for that matter, she was willing to do anything. Yeah. And Batman says, "Miss Kyle." Then she disappears like ninja vanish. And Batman says, "So that's what it feels like." Yeah, that's what it feels like. Fancy that, Batman. I guess this is what you have, the taste of your own medicine. So, boo-hoo to do too. So, okay. Now that we fast forward, now that Selina Kyle takes Batman, aka Selina Kyle, who's Catwoman, takes Batman, and these are not your ordinary, they're not your ordinary average fighters. And Batman says, "Neither am I, or neither am I, or whatever, 'cause I can be a fighter too." And then takes him all the way to the sewers, the subway, and then Selina Kyle locks Batman up, and Batman says, "You're making a terrible mistake." And now guess who the brooding muscle comes in? And it's none other than Bane. Yes, he says, "Hello, Batman. It's nice to see you, Mr. Wayne." Yes, Bane knows Batman's secret identity. Yeah, he knew who he was. How did he know who he was? I will never know. I'm guessing what is this? Arkham Origins? Really? Is this Arkham Origins when Bane knows Batman's secret identity? Because even though he's like a beautiful little gypsy, by saying, "Hello, I'm a beautiful little gypsy. Hi, girlfriend, I'm beautiful." No, he's not. He's kind of muscle, but he wants to have a tea party even though he wants to break bones. So that's Bane for you. Which is none other than the actor Tom Hardy, who's another British actor besides Gary Oldman and Christian Bale, who's from Wales, which he did pretty well, playing Bruce Wayne and Batman. I mean, how did these two British actors, besides Tom Hardy, put up an American accent? I'll never know, but that was like really well done. They did like a lot of practice. Of course, you see Batman having a fight with Bane, and then things are not going to go so well. It's like a 1-2 punch, and then Batman and Bane is going to try to win this all. You see a bit of a razzle-dazzle, fisticuffs flying away, a do-si-do with Batman, and away he goes. And it didn't go well for him. And finally, because when Bane says, "Oh, you like the dark. Like you, I was born in the dark. Born by it and molded by it." No, see, I'm blind. It's shame. Yeah, yeah, he knows. And then he finally broke the Batman's back. And yeah, also broke the mask of the Batman, and now his mercenaries, or the League of Shadows, take him away straight into the pits of the dungeon. Is one of the worst places, what you call, like, the prison cell. Like, Bane calls it the worst hell on earth, which is the prison, which is, I mean, it can be escaped easily, but with the obstacles that are in the way, it is like almost impossible for anyone to escape. But I do believe we are going to stop here for the time being, and don't worry, we are going to continue to pick up from where we left off, and thanks for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and tell me what you guys think of the Dark Knight Rises movie. So for anyways, this is Leo Wolverine, and speaking as always as your sensational special being who takes chances, makes mistakes, and get messy in Leo's Let's Plays Alliance. Godspeed, play safe, and shalom. See you, and remember, the Dark Knight is always watching you. See you guys next time for more of Arkham Twin Days.